Hello, and welcome back to our German 1890 campaign, Blood and Iron. In the last episode, we had tensions going up all over the place, and we settled on fighting with Russia. Now, they're potentially already at war. Are they fighting anyone else? They are fighting the United States. I think they've had a little bit of a skirmish back and forth with them. They lost a couple of heavy cruisers in the process. But that was about it. We may end up trying to um, merge the war with the US to, make it end faster because they've been at war for a few months already. So hopefully, Russia might be a little bit more willing to settle, or we might try to keep the wars separate. I don't know. It just depends on if we can get an alliance with the US again or not. That's kind of valuable. It also depends on how this goes. So we've got three battleships left for Northern Europe, but we're moving most of everything else over to the Baltic. In fact, I would be a little bit tempted to move the Weissenberg classes back to Northern Europe in order to have our quote unquote new um, pre-dreadnoughts in the Baltic because they do have a lot of battleships over there. But we'll see. We'll see how this goes. They do have one Farilzi battleship there too. Anyhow, let's hit the next turn and see what happens. So the first skirmish we have out here is near Greenland. They decline. Let's accept this. This could end up being a pretty big battle. Very outnumbered. Yep, this is probably the one here. All right, we just need to figure out where they're at. They could potentially be in here. They could be down here. Or hopefully they're not down here, so we can get home. But let's just see what kind of contact we have. There we go. So we are split up into a couple of different forces here. Once again, my cruiser squads are combining themselves into newer and older models with torpedoes in there. Let's get this back into line ahead. Cut north, so hopefully I can get everything together. Line ahead. And if we get the chance to gang up on some of their ships, we will do so. But we need to be a little bit cautious because we could be vastly outnumbered here in terms of battleship firepower. Now we do have the advantage of our new Prussian class having these really great broadsides, but our older battleships, not so much. So we're going to slow these destroyers down a little bit. Don't want to start blowing out their engines immediately. In fact, these are light cruisers. Okay. So let's get them to separate. There we go. And then we'll do this. Hang on, we need to put these in formation. Put these on 20. Okay. So there we go. It looks like we do have two separate forces here, at least for now. We've got the scouting force and potentially the main force following them. So what we're going to try to angle for is to pick on this scouting force if we can. Looks like some destroyers and probably heavy or light cruisers backing them up. We're not in range of anything. Nah, they're going to retreat back, so yeah. So their actual battleships out in lead there, backing up. backed up by a bunch of pre-dreadnoughts. So let's just go ahead and get our heavy cruisers out of there. Not sure how we're going to deal with all of this. Unless I just want to suicide in some light cruisers, but I think that era is gone where I can just like force a bunch of torpedo shots with the cruisers. I think the range on the torpedoes, actually the torpedoes aren't that bad of a range here. It's like they go out to about 8,000 yards. I could still get lucky. All right, so our Deutschland has fired 6 9-inch guns and scored 1 hit. It's right here. This is the new Prussian class, right? Yep. I do have these formidable broadsides of 6 9-inch guns. All right, let's get these heavy cruisers back involved here. Scoring some more 9-inch hits at ranges only dreamed about during the last war. Gonna slow down my Prussian classes in order to get more accuracy out of the guns. Second cruiser division. Is that this one here? Right here. It's a shame because I kind of wanted these to keep going in a straight line for the torpedoes. All right, looks like we've scored first blood with one of the destroyers. Come on, we want this cruiser. How can you misunderstand orders this close to the flagships? This isn't Jutland. Of course, in their defense, we don't even have the technology of Jutland. This is like 1905 or something, I think. 1906. I don't remember exactly what year we're in, but we don't even have the same technology as World War I yet. This is like just after the Spanish-American War. Yeah, we'll pick up some survivors. Our destroyers aren't doing a whole lot right now anyhow. And nighttime's coming. Okay, interesting. Does that mean we just go for it with the light cruisers and the destroyers? Do we just like make a run? Because right now this is an inconclusive battle. We have a lot of potential here for torpedo firepower, especially after nighttime. Yeah, here come their screens. We're starting to lose cohesion because of the dark. Let's fire off some torpedo. Oh, these are heavy cruisers. What am I doing? Okay, what am I doing? Here we go. We need to go up there. We need to go up there. We need to go in there. These destroyers, if they start getting hit, they will not last long. These things are basically on AI control. Okay. We're going to see if we can't shoot some torpedoes at this thing here. is the... We're going to fire off the port broadsides first. Save the swivels for a little bit later. Alright, we're taking some hits here from the secondaries on that actual dreadnought. We're regretting just slightly breaking off the destroyer to pick up survivors, because that would have been more torpedoes I could fire. We're just firing off torpedoes and just praying for some hits here. If they go into that mass of ships, that would be pretty nice. We're not a main torpedo armament nation like we were with Japan. This thing down here, what are you doing? Are you like injured or something? No, you're just confused. All right, come on, get back in there. That's a dereliction of duty, that guy. That's the Lubbock. We'll have to look at that captain, see what he's doing. All right, these my Prussians or are these my... Yeah, they are my Prussians. Good, so they are involved. These torpedoes are looking pretty good here. Let's fire off this last one in line. Nah, we don't want to do that. That thing's going to turn eventually. There we go. Some of these are looking pretty good. Whether we can hit or not is up to random chance, but looks like we didn't get lucky despite having some pretty good torpedo shots. So all the port side is expended on those destroyers. We got a big mess right here. We do want these heavy cruisers to be behind the battleships if possible. So let's turn and turn. And let's get these light cruisers involved. In fact, we'll split our force. We're going to go back to our pincer, typical pincer type battles with these uh, interwar type battleships where... Oh, they're split into... That's their scout group. Well, that's fine. But our goal here is to envelop like this to the west and then this to the south. That way we force them to fight off both sides of their ship. Leipzig is taking hits. Didn't look like it took anything too hard, but when you're getting hit like that, you do want to change your course a little bit. All right, true nighttime is arriving. So it is time very soon. Let's take that off AI control. Time very soon to try and get close with these light cruisers. Here it comes. Let's start pushing in. Yeah, we'll pick them up. Okay, we lost each other. So this stuff could pop up anywhere here. There we go. Now, our light cruisers that we have here that are 22 and 20 knots, they are not any faster really than these new battleships that they have. They go 20 knots. Oh, come on. What a horrible time to lose command. That is like ignorant. Well, let's go in for the envelopment. Hey, we got one. That was an automated torpedo, so nice job. Oh, was that us? That was us. We got hit by a medium gun. Well, traded a light cruiser for a battleship. And we might lose another one here. Taking some pretty wicked damage. But the good news about being so close to home is that we can, well, we're not that close to home. Never mind. Thought we were a little bit further south. Can't get control of that back yet. Well, losing that light cruiser stinks. But considering how slow it was, that might have been one of our like original cruisers. So trading it for even an older pre-dreadnought, like if this is like one of their original pre-dreadnoughts, I mean it's not, it's okay, it's just fine. It's a fine trade, I guess. Nuremberg got hit by a torpedo from a dead destroyer. Okay, I'm gonna send you home. We're gonna slow you down to 6 knots and send you home. I guess this is a decent way to get rid of some old inventory, huh? The question is, where the heck are they? There they are. So we're still on port side, unfortunately. Let's get this destroyer in here. Oh, that was all the way up there. Okay, that must have been picking up survivors. All right, not great. Let's try to get you home if we can. All right, can we hit this thing with some torpedoes? Prince Heinrich. Let's get these destroyers involved. We're going to cut a little bit across and try to block off any kind of retreat that they might have. I'm very curious about what happened. There's some right here. They are. Okay. So they're just a little bit too fast for us right now. Some of their battleships. Oh boy, this is not great, but actually this is fine. This is all right. Yeah, this is actually okay. All right, once we get the Prussians involved, let's get the heavy cruisers in there. We don't have any torpedoes. Yeah, they're somewhere. We have them somewhere. They're like, yeah, they're in this squadron on the tacked onto the back there on this Venetia class. Okay. All right, I do like these. Can I fire? Not yet. Fire at the second one in line there. That might be okay. I do like these early battleship encounters where like maneuvering is actually really important. It's a lot more sort of tactile than like the missile and aircraft age, where it's just like, hey, I found you, and now it's up to whether my airplanes decide they're going to work this battle or not. Okay, let's get out of there. We're getting a lot of hits on whatever this thing is, so it's right here. Okay, that's fine. Oh, it's dead in the water. That's why. Then we're getting some hits down here. Just 6-inch hits, but those can add up even on a battleship. So let's fire off. Try to finish this thing if we can. We're going to do turn together. We're going to fire the forward torpedo. That works. And that works. Then we're just going to turn together again. Turn that off. Hopefully not hit our own light cruisers with torpedoes. And here we have some destroyers. So these are expanded on our port side. So we need our starboard side. It's getting hit. We might be able to get some torps off here. There we go. It's 1, 2, and then the last one online, it doesn't have an angle yet. There we go. Maybe. No. Hey, there we go. We got it. Okay. So these destroyers are expended now, so we're going to try to send them home. And then these things are still locked like in an improper formation. But that's fine. So that's 1, 2 potentially here. Yeah, that's empty. This still has some torpedoes left, so we're going to go back up there. So it's potentially 3 enemy battleships down. It's the second one in line there. Give him the old starboard broadside. Missed. Fire off another one. Not yet. Turn together. Now we can probably hit them. Starboard broadside and swivel. And we're going to turn off that turn together. All right, that's probably enough to put that under. And then we've got enemy heavy cruisers here. Maybe? Nice. All right, so that's potentially 1. There was another one here, around here somewhere, and then we blew one up with a torpedo earlier. So that's potentially 3 battleships down. So let's try and get out of here. I'm going to send this group of heavy cruisers over here to escort the Palau, whatever that is. So I'm going to try to escort that thing home. Torpedoes are expended. Let's turn together. Get the heck out of there. I think instead of these guys getting home, I'm like driving them straight into the teeth of an enemy battle group here. Is this another battleship? Well, that's empty on torpedoes. So let's move these Prussian class over here. These are our old. What are these? The Weissenbergs? Yes. We still have a little bit of torpedo power left here. It's, well, I was going to check what was ready to go, loaded up, but all right, let's be cautious. Don't want to go in a straight line here. We're just looking to protect that light cruiser and try to get it home if we can. If we lose it, it stinks, but it's not the worst thing ever. We're not going to sacrifice heavy cruisers to do it. Throw good ships after bad, as they say. All right, torpedoes away. And torpedoes away. Just reporting that as a heavy cruiser now. Heavy cruiser or battleship, I'll take either one. Because they do have a number of heavy cruisers. And our heavy cruisers here are doing pretty well. Starting to get low on ammo. And we're taking hits from enemy heavy cruisers there. This probably their scout force, like we said earlier. We're hitting a destroyer. There we go. Hit a destroyer with even 3-inch guns hurts. Just depends on how big it is. Like if it's a little, like 400, 500 ton destroyer, a 3-inch shell will hurt. Okay. Luckily, those heavy cruisers can handle themselves. So we're just sending everybody home down here in this southern group. Keep the force together. We have a lot of repairs we're gonna have to do. We've taken a lot of hits from shells, but only one hit, fingers crossed, knock on wood, so far on a from a torpedo. On a ship from a torpedo. And if we can whittle down their destroyer fleet here a little bit, that would be mighty nice. And especially whittle down these heavy cruisers, if these are heavy cruisers. They could be light cruisers. Hard to tell in the dark. Check on our southern group, make sure, uh-oh, ruh-roh. Okay, that's up north. We just fired at that thing. So let's not extend too badly here. Well, hang on, that thing is slowed down. Hang on, we just took a good hit on the rune. Okay. So we know there's still an enemy group in this area here somewhere. The poor rune has taken quite a beating, but it's still going. It's not flooding or anything weird. And, we're turning a lot of I thought they were 9-inch hits, but they're 9 5-inch guns. This is actually a good, if we can get rid of this thing up here, this is actually a really good victory up north here, getting rid of all these extra ships. Because those are potential future problems. And these cruisers are actually still pretty good. So we're going to angle the Prussians and those heavy cruisers over this way. Cool. We just blew up that heavy cruiser. The poor Rune. We're going to slow down to squad max so the Rune can stay with us here. And then we send this group of heavy cruisers home. And then they might just be getting back to port. Yeah, it looks like they're running to port. Very cool. This group out here is doing something weird. Just go home. We'll put them on cruise. Those are destroyers. Put these on cruise. No need to unknown ship over here. Oh, we're still getting chased by destroyers. All right, turn the heavy cruisers back around, I guess. You really don't want to. We're gonna put these on cruise. Actually, we're gonna go even slower to stay with the Lubbock there, or the Palau, or whatever it is, in the Nuremberg. Yes to all. All right, time to see what happened during that battle. So, we lost a light cruiser. Guess it sank on the way home. We lost a destroyer. We did medium damage to their battleship, but we sank 4 pre-dreadnoughts, 3 heavy cruisers, 11 destroyers. We're at to look at the almanac to see how bad losing 11 destroyers hurt them, but I suspect it's not great. 4 battleships out of their, I don't know, they had like 15, they had like 16 or 20 battleships. They have a crazy amount of battleships, so this is a good start. Exit battle. Major victory, get 8,500 victory points. We're going to keep that. Okay. Very nice. Save the game. They had 14 battleships just here in the Baltic. Now they're down to 9. And their main battleship, how many actual battleships they have? They have 2. So probably one here and maybe one in the mid, yeah. So basically one in the Black Sea, and it's kind of weird they don't give Russia like a port here. Just say, hey, this is like, give them Crimea or something, and say, or Sevastopol, hey, this is like part of the Black Sea. That really it would make sense to give them that, but maybe in the next iteration of the game. We're 1 month away from finishing our new docks, and we're almost 35 minutes in. We don't have time to do another big battle tonight. So we're just gonna look at the almanac some more. So they have 11 pre-dreadnoughts left in service. We killed 4. I think they have 1 in repair, so that they probably have more like 12. We sank 3 heavy cruisers, which is good. We didn't get any light cruisers, but they don't have any. That's why they don't have any. We have them like we have superiority when it comes to heavy cruisers, but they have superiority when it comes to battleships. Although it looks like they're running a lot of older, smaller ones. Okay. Yeah, I mean it's a pretty good result. We are building some regular submarines. We can't transfer these coastals. Um, I wish that we could. And the unrestricted submarine warfare didn't actually do much for us. We didn't sink any transports, but I mean, it's 1909. I thought it was like 1906 or something, but it's actually 1909. These subs aren't great. Even the new ones we're building, they're not very good. So we probably can't expect to score many transport kills. Not like we were during like the 1950s, 1940s, 1950s, whatever, with the old fleet. Anyhow, yeah, this is a good start to everything. Check our doctrines. We're in the middle of a war, but when we're after this, I think we're going to swap over from torpedo warfare to damage control. We don't want to change the priorities now because when you do that, you instantly lose your priority. So, like, if I swapped over to damage control now, we would lose the gunnery priority for a year. So we don't want to do that. But once this is over, we do want to swap. Um, Torpedo warfare is just not really our thing. It's nice to have torpedoes to finish off ships, but the small little bonus that you get for having torpedo warfare just probably isn't worth it compared to having damage control. We've got some heavy cruisers in repair. These are our Seton class. And then we've got, oh, I wanted to look at our lost light cruiser because I think it's one of the old ones. So we have to look at, here it is. This is the one. This was a Rostock we lost. So that's one of our newer ones, I believe. Yeah, it's one of the fair, not like really new, but fairly new, like 1893. So I think it's like one of the first light cruiser designs that we came up with ourselves rather than just using the ones we were given. So it's not that bad of a loss. If it was a Lubbock, that would have been worse. But I was hoping it was one of these older designs that were actually they're not even involved up here, so I can't really lose those anyway. So yeah, tell me what you think of the battle. Did I do okay? Didn't quite get my envelopment maneuver off entirely. They ended up retreating south and they got out of the pocket. They were just, they were on par with us for speed. Like this was the battle, I believe, right here. So this is like one of their, yeah, it's a 22 knot battleship. Getting that out of their fleet, it's actually pretty good. 21 knots it says, but it came out of the shipyard doing 22. And then we got rid of these. These are the old ones. These are some of the older ones here. But they were built in like the early 1900s, essentially, starting in 1899. Even though they're not great battleships, they're a little bit slow, but they're formidable enough, I guess. We just have to hope that Japan will, well, not Japan, but the United States will like help us out a little bit here. And then they've got two more of these coming online soon, and we're still 2 year, like more than 2 years out, because there's going to be delays in building these things anyway. And then they still have to work up, so they're not going to be ready for this war, but they'll be there for the next one. So yeah, good battle. We're gonna save the game. We're gonna make a backup just in case anything weird happens. So I'll see y'all next time, and sail safe out there.